It says we're live, says we're live, says we're live. Hi, everybody. So let me know if this thing is actually working. Hopefully my camera doesn't screw up tonight. Something's going on. It's a little glitchy. So, you know, I hope nothing happens with this camera. But we'll see. We'll see how it's going. So how's everybody doing? Um, Says we're live. So I'm just waiting for somebody to confirm that, although I could probably just go to my YouTube and and see what's going on. Let's see. So, C. Kim is saying he sees me. Well, that's good to know. If I can figure out how the hell to do this, that'd be really nice. Anthony, hello, sir. And Mr. Lemastro, you need to send me your address, sir. I responded to you on Subscribe Star, so I need your address. You'll know why. All right, hi everybody. How's it going? So right now we have 13 people here tonight. We're doing this a day early. I didn't really feel like doing it on Sunday. I'll be honest with you. I wanted to get this done tonight, while the things were happening. So one of the things I obviously want to talk about is the new laws that took shape January 1st of 2020 in New York State. Now, of course, there's going to be. Oh, that's right. It is 2 days early, right? Because today's Friday. Wow, I forgot. Good. I still have 2 days left of the weekend. Sweet. So yeah, it's a little early, but what the hell? Who cares? Nobody's got anything to do on a Friday night, right? So let's begin this conversation, and then we'll talk about some things that I saw some people wanting to talk about, like for example, the airstrikes in Baghdad, and the killing of an Iranian general. Aw, too bad. But I do want to talk a little bit about these new laws. And some of the things I want to talk about, maybe hit some of you the wrong way and you'll get angry and upset. I just want to kind of preface the conversation about the idea that this isn't necessarily a conversation to start bashing people and screaming and hollering. I don't want to do that. But I do want to have a conversation and kind of just get it out there and see what your thoughts are. I know Nick has some thoughts, which I'm sure he's going to share with us. But, let's start talking. So, for those of you who are not aware, January 1st, 2020, New York State had passed some legislation here that was going to free up certain individuals in the prison system that had been awaiting trials, but could not make bail due to their monetary status and all that other stuff. So as a result, they have gotten rid of officially cash bail for certain crimes, misdemeanors, felonies, whatever you want to call them. So I actually pulled up all of the Class E felonies that we have in New York State, and I've got to find it now. And, it's going to take a little while. So I don't want people to start freaking out and saying, what is he doing? But, I feel like it is necessary to kind of engage in a conversation about some of the things that are going on. And by the way, hello to everyone who's out there right now, all 26 of you. But when we look at the law, basically what's happening is, and I'll kind of read some things verbatim so that I don't kind of talk out of my butt. But what they did was they called for bail reform. They were saying that there were certain individuals who could not financially afford bail, thus keeping them locked up behind bars awaiting trial. So, of course, they felt that a lot of this had to do with racism, and there may be some valid points to that. I mean, it's. I think there is some validity behind that. However, in my opinion, in their knee-jerk decision to make everybody feel good about themselves, they said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of bail for certain misdemeanors slash felonies, and those people are going to walk. They're going to be able to go home, and they're going to get an appearance ticket to come back to court. Now, some people in certain areas are like, this is great, this is what we want. And then other people are now, of course, saying this is not what we want because there are certain individuals who are going to be released that really should not have been released. So, of course, we've got to decide what's right, what's wrong. Now, there's also another part of this that is kind of one of the underlining issues, and that has to deal with discovery rules. So, obviously, when you go to court, the prosecutor has time to gather evidence and all that other stuff. And then I think it's something like 2 weeks before the actual court date, they have to, or I think maybe a week, I'm not sure. I'm not a lawyer. But what they have to do is they have to then turn over that evidence to the defense, and then the defense has to obviously, prepare around that evidence. Well, in this case now, the reform that has gone through is that it gives the prosecuting team only 2 weeks to gather the evidence and then to turn that over immediately to the defense, which supposedly and allegedly is giving them the ability to say, okay, now it's fair. So, whatever you feel about that. So that's a part of the law. Blah, blah, blah. It says here, under the bail reform laws passed in Albany in April, bail for misdemeanors is eliminated, except for sex crimes and violating orders of protection. Remands for misdemeanors are banned. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and that's not necessarily the truth. Bail and pretrial detention is also eliminated for most nonviolent felonies, with the exception of witness tampering, murder, conspiracy, domestic violence cases, crimes against kids, sex crimes, and terror cases. So, they're kind of saying that it's not necessarily everything. It's only certain things, but some of these certain things are still a little bit sketchy. So we'll talk about that in a minute. It says bail and detention is allowed pre-trial in violent felonies, except for certain burglary and robbery charges. So that's kind of interesting. It is eliminated for all Class A drug felonies, except for major drug trafficking. And again, that's also a lot of gray area. So technically, you could have a gang member who is selling drugs on the street, who now is going to be able to get out with an appearance ticket. And then if somebody, like, let's say, turned them in, now that person's back on the street in the same neighborhood with the witness who actually came forward and did the right thing. So that's kind of a whole nother conversation. It says here, the Center for Court Innovation, never heard of that, estimates that just 10% of the 205,000 criminal cases in the city, and this is New York City they're talking about specifically, in 2018 would be eligible for bail and detention under the new law. So only 10% according to New York City. What's interesting about New York City, which is kind of another interesting take on this whole thing, is that in New York City, the mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio, Comrade de Blasio, is giving perks for people to come back to court. So, like, let's say you get arrested for a drug charge, you're then released with an appearance ticket, and in order to entice you back to court, you can get free Mets tickets. That's right, I said it. So if you commit a crime and you're afraid that you won't get anything back because you're a bad guy, you will. You're going to get free Mets tickets. Thanks. So, and again, that's all at the taxpayer's expense. So you got to love some of the logic or lack of logic based on that stuff. So I want to read a couple of things to you here. And this to me is some of the most disturbing parts of this. Yes, they're saying that it wouldn't be covering certain things like, crimes against children and everything. But there's other things that are written in this book of nonviolent felonies. And of course, from what I've read, there's only 5 felonies related to, Class E felonies, which is kind of interesting as well. So here's a couple of the examples that are actually where you're going to be getting an appearance ticket. So one example would be vehicular assault in the second degree. So basically what this means is that if this is you are a person who is guilty of vehicular assault in the second degree. It's when you cause serious physical injury to another person and either operates a motor vehicle in violation of subdivision 2, 3, 4, or 4A. So again, there's a lot of subsections here, of course, because the laws are broken down into different things. So basically what it's saying is if you're driving a vehicle and you smash into a minivan filled with children, and you've either done it on purpose or you're under the influence of something, you will now get an appearance ticket to come back to court, even though you could possibly have seriously injured those people. So that's kind of interesting. I thought that was one good, interesting part of this. Here's an interesting one too. If you've decided that you're a miserable human being and you are promoting someone to commit suicide, in other words, you're kind of telling them, hey man, just kill yourself because there's no reason to live. Well, guess what? Now you're going to be released. Now, instead of you having to sit in pretrial status inside of a jail because, you did the wrong thing, now you're going to get an appearance ticket. And even though probably because they didn't successfully kill themselves, but only because you promoted them to kill themselves, but they weren't successful, you're going to get out of jail for a little time being. Here are some of the other quote unquote nonviolent misdemeanor, or I should say felonies, nonviolent felonies. Luring a child. I think that's self-explanatory. Criminally negligent homicide. And for those of you who don't know what that is, I'll read it to you really quick. This is a person who is guilty of criminally negligent homicide when you have caused the death of another person. So yeah, that's interesting. In other words, you were negligent, which caused somebody else to die. Let's see. La la la. Here's another one, and they're saying sex crimes are not covered, but this is rape in the second degree. So if you've raped, oh, hold on, second degree or third degree? I want to make sure I get this right. Third degree, my bad. So if you're a person who has been charged, that means the investigators have gone out and they've charged you with something, and now you're waiting for your trial. This is a person who's guilty of rape in the third degree. You are someone who is engaged in sexual intercourse with another person who is incapable of consent by reason of some factor other than being less than 17 years old. So, in other words, if you have somebody who's intoxicated, somebody who is mentally incapable of making a decision, and you have then had intercourse with them, you are now considered a person who has committed third degree rape. That is also a Class C felony. Again, they are speculating supposedly that you will have to stay in jail, but I don't think that's true. So the list goes on. I mean, there's some really interesting ones here. Let's see, aggravated cemetery desecration in the second degree. So if you decide to go into a cemetery and you desecrate it, now you're just going to get an appearance ticket because, I guess messing with the dead is cool. Arson in the fourth degree, because we know lighting things on fire is completely normal behavior and also nonviolent, right? Yeah, that's also a part of this. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. And I'm just going through some of these really quick. So I can't go through all of them because there's so many of these. I'm just kind of giving you some ideas of some of the very odd ones. Scheme to defraud is also an appearance ticket. So if you want to defraud some old person out of their life savings, you can do that and get an appearance ticket. So that's a lot of fun. Yes, these are all New York laws, by the way, music. Absolutely. Let's see. There was one in here that I read that was kind of an interesting one where if you are a criminal who murders a police dog, you also will be given an appearance ticket. So now police dogs don't count, I guess, which is kind of interesting also. All of the drug ones, those are all appearance tickets now. So let's say, for example, you are found guilty of precursors of methamphetamines, appearance ticket. You are found guilty or they have enough evidence to put you in for holding, and you're in possession of methamphetamine manufacturing material, you also will be given an appearance ticket. Any injections of narcotic drugs, appearance ticket. If you use a child to commit a controlled substance offense, appearance ticket. So if you're using your little 10-year-old cousin or nephew to be a mule for you, you get an appearance ticket. That's right. This one I thought was kind of interesting. Bail jumping in the second degree. So if you jump bail, you're going to get an appearance ticket. Now the question is, if you jump bail, why would you go back? That's interesting. Let's see. Prostitution now. You'll get an appearance ticket. Promoting prostitution in the school zone. So, yeah, that's interesting. Criminal anarchy. I don't even know what that is. That's kind of interesting. Let's see what that one is. That's interesting. Criminal anarchy is a person who is guilty of disorderly conduct with intent to cause public inconvenience, annoyance or alarm, or recklessly creating a list thereof. So if you engage in fighting or in violent, tumultuous, or threatening behavior, or you make unreasonable noise, or in a public place you use abusive or obscene language, or a gesture, and you have no lawful authority to be there, you get an appearance ticket. This one I really enjoy because for those of you who are traveling and taking planes, if you direct a laser at an aircraft in the first degree, you also will get an appearance ticket, even if you blind the pilot and the pilot crashes the plane. So no problem, no harm, no foul, no worries. Let's see. Abandonment of a child, appearance ticket. Non-support of a child in the first degree, appearance ticket. Endangering the welfare of an incompetent or physically disabled person, appearance ticket. Possessing a sexual performance by a child. This one does it fall under child abuse charges and they won't let you out? I don't know. It says crimes against kids. Bail and pretrial detention is also eliminated for most nonviolent felonies with the exceptions of crimes against kids. So I would assume they would have to go through the whole process. But again, we like to believe that what's in these laws is going to be what's said. But again, I highly doubt that. So that's just some of the old things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And so now, obviously there's a lot of concerns in New York State for a lot of reasons. And I think one of the most poignant arguments for owning a firearm right now is really, you just let out a bunch of criminals. And, there are some people, I know that some people made some comments on Instagram about the fact that, well, what about the people who just can't afford to pay their bail? And I get that, and I understand that. But I think the way you handle that isn't just saying, okay, you can't afford bail, out you go. I think there has to be a better discussion where it isn't just let's put them out no matter what. I think there has to be a closer look at where are the discrepancies in the bail process, where are the abuses of bail or unusual bail, high bail specifically, and then address them individually. What prisons are not abiding by basic human rights, then you address those prisons. But to just give kind of this blanket release, I believe it was something like 2,000 ex-prisoners are now out on the street. And, it's one thing for celebrities to sit there and to say, oh, this is a great thing. But at the same time, you also have to ask yourself a question of what about the people who still live in those communities? What about the people who may have had to, come forward with that information in order for that person to initially be arrested and then waiting for their trial? What happens to those people? And I get the fact that we want to be able to have a discussion on how do we make it a little bit more equal. And if you hear dogs in the background, my family just got home. So of course my damn dogs have to bark at everything. But more importantly, I know people want to have that discussion where how do you equally and justly treat criminals? And at the same time, I think the better question is how do you maintain the safety and what's the word I'm looking for? The safety and the integrity of the victim. And I don't think you can put them on the same scale. If you are a victim of crime and you now know that person who committed the crime, whether it's a misdemeanor or a felony, whether it's drug related, sexual offense related, or defrauding somebody of their life savings, you're still technically a victim of that crime. And I'm really concerned that in this discussion, we're forgetting the fact that there is a victim here. And whether or not you agree with it or not, I still think the victim weighs a hell of a lot more than the criminal. So Nick is chiming in saying, do you know what the percentage were making bail before and what is the conviction rate in New York? I do not have those statistics. I'm not going to lie to you and say I do. What I can tell you is that, obviously doing some of the reading and looking at some of the statistics, yes, the statistics are very, very one-sided in regards to ethnicity and race. So I think that's where the concern was. And I would be lying if I said that wouldn't be true. I think it is. I think there is a very huge bias in certain areas. There's no doubt about that. The statistics show it. And I think it's hard to argue that. But at the same time, are we really addressing what's causing it? What is causing the behaviors that allow these people to take crime and commit those crimes against other people? And this is not addressing that. Instead, what this is doing, in my opinion, is putting people at risk. It's putting people who have done nothing wrong, who are again, the victims of a crime, whether it's directly or indirectly, and it's putting them in a position where they shouldn't have to be. So I think we can't lose the focus on the victim. Okay, I get it. We want to be able to equalize things and treat people fairly. Nick, you made a statement about, you got Jimmy and Johnny and they both commit the same crime, but Jimmy's parents can pay the bail and Johnny's parents can't. Yes, you're right. There is an inequity in that. Absolutely. Unfortunately, fair and equal are two different things, and I think we like to say that the justice system is fair, but it isn't always equal. And we know that. So yes, a person may be incarcerated and may be held before they even have that trial. But at the same time, nonetheless, when those people are arrested for a crime, there has been enough investigation or enough, I should say, investigatory processing that has occurred for those people to physically be arrested and then held for pretrial or trial in its entirety. So it's not like these are falsely accused people. And in some cases, yes, guess what? There may be. There's no perfect system. There's nothing perfect. And yes, there's always going to be those stories. And unfortunately, that's sometimes what happens. But again, at the end of the day, what happens to the victim? Where are the victims being represented? How are their rights being protected? How are they being protected and secured? And those are questions that have to be answered. And unfortunately, those are questions that were not answered and questions that are still not being answered because, people, once again, at least here in New York, are playing politics. And those politics are really wrapped around, unfortunately, ethnicity, race, and so on and so forth. And until these politicians want to start addressing what's the root cause of the crime and the criminality, then it's never going to change. I mean, how about breathing life into some of these areas, building the economies, education, not just handouts, but more importantly, building the idea of a community. And unfortunately, that's not seeming what's happening. So that's that part. So let's see some of your comments. Anthony, no, victims do not get Mets tickets. That's crazy. Why not give the victim Yankee tickets or something? They should get those. And if they really want to torture people, they should give them Knicks tickets because that's even worse. Derek is saying if the law gave judges discretion in those situations, it wouldn't be so bad, but blanket amnesty, for lack of a better term, is just a bad idea. And the interesting thing is New York State is one of the only states that does not give judges in New York to determine that. So that's kind of crazy too. So a judge could have somebody appear in front of them who they know is a threat to the community in one way or another, but in New York State, that judge is not allowed to remand them, which is crazy in itself. And the reason being was because they felt it should not be up to a judge because a judge could have their own biases in regards to whatever. So that's why that happened. It's crazy. Let's see. Lane Johnson saying we need to actually punish criminals instead of slapping them on the wrist and kicking them out on the street. I think there has to be also a conversation of how to rehabilitate criminals. I don't think we can always just sit here and say punish and throw them in the trash can, although some we should. I think one of the problems is that we're not doing enough to kind of change the behavior, to change the mentality, and then releasing them back into the communities that created this in the first place without even changing the community. So until those things happen, we're going to still see the what's the word? The repeated incarcerations of people. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see. So now the executive branch is telling the judicial branch how to do their job. Again, you have to realize New York State, every branch of government is controlled by King Cuomo, unfortunately. Let's see. Nick is saying, I know 2,000 sounds like a lot, but you don't know how many thousands are already out on bail. And that's true. Again, what are the other aspects of this, Nick, is the fact that if somebody was arrested and held on bail prior to this law being passed, they can also appeal that and be released as well. So while it may be a small number, again, what I would also ask you to do is think about in those areas where these inmates are being released, how is that going to affect the people of that area? I'll be honest with you, it's definitely put me on guard, more so than it has in the past, because you don't know what to expect and you don't know how this is going to affect you and your certain home. And hopefully we're all safe, but at the same time, man, it's a problem. It's a problem. Let's see. Ripcord, I agree with that. And Ripcord, I think I sent you also a message on Subscribestar. So make sure you send that to me, please. Let's see. Apparently, 7-Eleven-408 believes emojis are for 13-year-old girls. That's interesting. Let's see. I'm way, way behind. Way behind. Nick, we need to repeal gun laws and end the war on drugs. They are the new Jim Crow laws designed to destroy the family unit in inner city communities. Nick, unfortunately, you and I, sir, will absolutely 100% disagree on drug laws. I have seen drugs decimate families, communities, people, children, adults, elderly, male, female, black, white, Hispanic, Asian. I don't agree with that. I think you need to have drug laws. I think you need to demolish the cartels in Mexico, stop the opium trade in Asia, because to me, that is a huge problem. And I only speak from experience, not from my own or from my family's, but in my past profession, seeing what it does to people. So I can never be on board with that. I'm sorry. But that's just me. Let's see. Ranger saying, how do you reform racism? Join the military. When your life depends on someone of a different race to save your life, you change. And, I think sometimes, there's always that discussion. Where are we missing it? I don't know. I don't have the answers to that. I mean, if I did, I'd write a book, make millions of dollars, and be on Oprah or something like that. Music saying Cuomo's pushing gun parts to go through FFL, no more online. Yep, and like I said, it's scary here because you don't know what his next trick is up his sleeve. It certainly is. Um, let's see. Lane is saying this BS is happening all over the country. I'm in Kansas, and two meth heads stole or destroyed over $100,000 worth of stuff, and we're about to walk, but while you were out on bail, they got yet another meth charge. And it's interesting you say that because there was a lady down in New York City on New Year's Day, January 1st. She went and beat up a Jewish person in the street. So right now in New York, we're having a lot of problems with anti-Semitic violence, which you would never think that you'd see that in the most liberal state next to California and some other places. But that's what we're seeing, is tremendous amount of anti-Semitic crap going on right now. And I think it's ridiculous. I think it's a disgrace, to be honest with you. I mean, people just need to let people live, and that's it. No matter who you are, where you're at, just let people live their lives. As long as they're not harming you, leave them be. So she went and beat up, I believe, an elderly Jewish man. So she was arrested, and then she got out because they did not consider it a major felony. So she got out thanks to the new law. And then she went out the second day and beat somebody else up in the street. And then she went to jail. Then they released her for an appearance ticket. And on the third day, she beat the crap out of somebody else. So, yep, there's your law working in self. It's just unbelievable. Let's see. I got 2.25 years of meth charge. Yeah. Oh, Ohio Gear Guy. Thank you, sir. $4.99. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let's see. Ba-ba-ba. Music saying she's going to be right back. Let's see. Nick is saying he grew up in Baltimore. I've seen it all and tried most of it regarding drugs. We can decriminalize drug use and still go after drug dealers. I don't know if I agree again. I think when you decriminalize drugs completely, I think you're really opening yourselves up to problems. I think Baltimore is an example of what you're seeing, a decaying city where it's the modern day plantation, man. Just keep people eating at the hands of government and they never grow. But at the same time, do you decriminalize it at all the time and everything? I don't think you can. I think there has to be some form of punishment. Does that punishment mean you're beating them up in prison? No, it could mean forced rehabilitation, whatever it might be. Hello, Double B. How are you, sir? No, it's not Sunday, although I thought it was Saturday. So I was confused too, but I didn't want to do it this weekend. I just wanted to get it done. So this might become the norm because honestly, Friday nights, my wife and I go out to eat dinner, our kids go to something, and then they come home for a little while and then they go to sleep. So this might be the new. I'm not sure. You guys can tell me what you think. All right. So does anybody have anything else they'd like to bring up at this particular juncture of time? We are now at the 9:30 time, and we have 38 people watching. So thank you all for joining me on a Friday night. I know it's fair. Oh, we have 37. We just lost somebody. Sorry, guys. So let's see. Got my Blue Star holster on the way for my G45. Nice. I don't even know what Blue Star is, brother, but I'll take a look at it. La la la. Let's see. Oh, wait. What's this one? Denver was scary to drive in before they legalized pots. It's insane. Yeah, I can imagine. I can only imagine. All right, so Ranger 10 millimeter would like to talk about the airstrikes. But before we talk about that, Ranger, I want to talk about something I bought today, and I feel especially happy. So, as many of you know, I live in New York State, obviously. So we do have some issues with getting what some people think are scary rifles. So I'm always looking for something cool and new and useful. So I actually bought a used, barely used, and I can't show it to you because this will get banned. But I actually bought an amazingly, unbelievably conditioned Russian SKS. So I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to shoot it. It's in unbelievable shape. The bluing is, I would say, if not 100%, 99%. The stock is fantastic. The wood is in great shape. I just couldn't be any happier. And I got it at a great price. Maybe I paid a little bit too much, but I don't think so since it's a Russian with all matching numbers and it's in completely amazing shape. But I paid 500 smackaroos for it. So I'm super, super excited. Super excited. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. Music, an SKS is chambered in 7.62 by 39, which is obviously an AK-47 round, which is, by the way, one of my favorite rounds ever. So let's talk Ranger. About Meathead, I paid $500 for it. $500. I know what you're thinking. Holy shit, that's a good deal. And yes, you'd be right. It is. But the guy was great, man. He was totally awesome. Nice kid. He was younger than young guy, also a fireman. So it was kind of interesting because the email that I use, no one has ever picked up on the numbers that I use. So I'm not going to tell you what the other email is, but it has the number 343 in it. And no one has ever once said, hey, what does the 343 represent? So for those of you who are not familiar, 343 firefighters were killed on 9/11. Some who I knew. And I've always used that number. And I thought it was interesting because he asked me if I was ever a fireman. And I said, well, yes, I was. And so we got talking to that. So it was cool. Good experience, man. He's a good guy. Took real good care of the gun. And I'm very happy. So it's going from one good home to another good home. So in the end, it always works out. You just have to try to find it. So see Kim saying his Chinese SKS cost $88. I believe it. And it's probably it's a Chinese SKS. This one's a Russian, baby. So, and it's friggin' a beast. I love it. All right. So let's talk about what Ranger wants to talk about. So Ranger wants to talk about the airstrikes in Baghdad where they killed, I forget, like Armani or something like that. He's one of the generals of the Republican Guard in Iran. And so, one of the things that I have to say is it a good idea or a bad idea? It's kind of interesting. It wasn't like Trump didn't warn them, when they stormed the embassy and they bothered people there for 2 to 3 days and, were burning rooftops and guard posts and everything else. I'm pretty sure President Trump warned them, said, you're going to get payback. There's always payback. And sure enough, he blew up I believe it was a storage facility in the airport. And this general happened to be there, which, just happened to be there. I wonder, sometimes you got to ask yourself a question of, even though there's a lot of bravado behind Iran right now, did the Iranian government set it up? And what I mean by that is, were they truly afraid that the Americans would respond harshly in Iran? So they said, okay, look, these people, they screwed up. So as a result, we're going to give this guy over to you and you can do what you want to him. Maybe that's a possibility. But it's going to be interesting. Definitely interesting to see what happens after that. Obviously they made a big announcement saying they were going to retaliate. There's talk that there were sleeper cells inside the U.S. I know that New York City has gone on high alert in regards to obviously being a target. So hopefully nothing happens, obviously, in retaliation. We certainly don't want a big major world war. At least I don't. But yeah, so let's see what you guys have to say. So Ripcord is saying, I swing first, second shifts. Hate to miss one of your live feeds. Weekend work better for me. Just saying. All right. So I will keep that in consideration. Maybe we'll do a Saturday. I don't know. Sunday's kind of a pain because I have to work Monday too. And it's like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's see. Anthony's saying he got his card got hacked last week. We'll update on. Okay. Gotcha. Wow. That sucks, dude. I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't hack it. I swear. So for those of you who are not aware, I have this thing called Subscribestar. So I've actually convinced people to give me their hard-earned money. It's $3 to join. I communicate every once in a while with them. I give them stuff, no charge, no contest or anything. I just say, anybody want this? And then whoever wants it, I send it to them. So that's kind of how it works. I don't really talk about it because I'm not going to, beg you guys for anything. Lane is saying, I had a Yugoslavian SKS that I bought years ago for $119. I fired 10 shots out of it and sold it while Obama was off $600. I know, it's crazy, right? So this thing, I can tell you right now, a couple of years, this thing is going to be worth well over $500, and it already is. So like I said, I got a great deal. I don't plan on selling it. I'm going to keep it in its original stock fashion. It's not going to be a Bubba rifle at all. It's going to be a legit SKS badass rifle. Ranger 10, you are correct, sir. Suleimani. I'm falling way behind on comments here, so I apologize. Ranger 10, Iran pissed Trump off when they hit our embassy. That's a big no-no. Wasn't going to let it be another Benghazi. And he did say that. He says, this is not going to be another Benghazi. And you know what? It's hard because on one end, people are going to say, but if you do this, President, then there's going to be retaliation. But what message do you send if you don't do anything? And then you're watching I saw a tweet or something posted by, I forget what her name is, but she was like an actress and now she's just like, whatever, saying that she apologizes for the terrorist attack in Baghdad and all this other crap. And Rose McGowan was her name. And about how, we as the people of the U.S. don't support this terrorist and don't kill us. I mean, what is that? Like, seriously, what is that about? So it's pretty sad. Pretty sad. Yes, I did see that the general is responsible for the death of hundreds of Americans. I'm not sure where and when. So if anybody knows, that'd be it's something good to talk about. So maybe music saying every day we should have a chat. No, I can't do that. That's just overkill, and nobody wants to hear me rant for 7 days a week. I don't want to hear myself half the time. Let's see. Atomic Bulls is saying if they attack an embassy, then bomb them. No more Benghazi. I agree. Because we know the cluster that was and the huge cover up that happened after it. And again, none of our officials were ever charged for negligence in regards to what happened there. So shame on us for that one. Hello, James. How are you, sir? Oh no, I won't. It won't be sold. That's going to be a keeper. That's never going to go anywhere. To me, it's too rare to sell. You can't find them. You cannot find them. At least not in the condition I found this one. Let's see. Yes, they use clips, the clipazines. A lot of talk about the SKS. Nice. My first SKS had a satin finish stock. I've never seen another like it. Wish I could have kept that one. Yeah, I would say this. I don't even know what this one is. It's incredibly smooth. It's a beautiful one. Again, I'm obviously going to do video on it at some point, and I'll get a couple of closer pictures so you guys can see it in its full glory. Ranger 10 saying, if we don't stop on the bullies will stomp on us, and I don't like being stomped on, and neither do I. I think at some point, you kind of have to redesign who we are. The United States has never been a doormat for the world. And I think obviously when we had past presidents, that's who we became, an apologist. We became an apologist nation that didn't want to sit here and say that we were great. We became a nation that was afraid to say two words, and that's called American exceptionalism. And I think that's a shame. Some people will say, but American exceptionalism also includes genocide of Native Americans, also includes slavery. Well, yes, but that's not necessarily what makes us exceptional. What makes us exceptional is the fact that we did those things, but we also changed our ways to never do those things again. So that's where that lies. And I think for whatever reason, people have become afraid to realize the greatness of the nation that we really are. But I guess it depends on the circles you hang out in. Let's see. Ranger 10 saying our strikes will be a deterrent always. Yes, and probably also an antagonizing part of it. But hey, you do what you got to do to protect your people. And I think one of the nations that has the best idea on how to do that is usually Israel, because they don't mess around. You do something in Israel, they just blow shit up. Let's see. Cody is saying stuck between choosing an M&P 2.0 compact and the Beretta APX Centurion. Man, that's a look. Boy, I don't know which one to tell you. That's tough. I mean, the M&P is so good. I have a compact, 2.0 compact, and I also have a Centurion. I actually have two of them. But I don't know. Like, I was thinking about getting another APX, or excuse me, another compact 2.0, but then I went ahead and got another APX. And if that means anything, then I'd say get the APX. But they're both fantastic. The only thing I can't stand on the 2.0 is the hinge trigger, whereas the APX does not have that. But you got much more aftermarket for the 2.0. So you ultimately, sir, will have to decide what you want to get. But they're both fantastic. You're not going to go wrong either way. Let's see. Anthony is asking me the status on the Caracal. So it's interesting you said that. I actually emailed them right before New Year's Eve, and I just got an email from them. And I want to. I will actually share the email with you if I can find it really quick. And it's a really good email. I'm super excited. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Whenever you get exciting news, why the hell not? Just share it. So it says here. This is from one of the heads of their company there out in Idaho. But he says, thank you, because I said Happy New Year. Hope you guys are doing great, whatever. So it says, I hope you had a great Christmas and New Year. The slides are about 1 week behind schedule. So, of course, they have to re-engineer some of the parts because of some of the issues that I found with the gun. So hopefully it works. And if it works now, you guys can like say, man, 1776 did something great. But it said he should not hold them up much. As soon as the slides are through, first article, the endurance testing will begin. Once that's done, your pistola, nice, is coming back to you along with a little surprise. So I'm not going to tell you what the surprise is, but all I can say is this is going to be nice. But it's not a rifle. And if it works, I'm going to be extremely happy. And when it does, and if it doesn't, you guys are going to know. Lane Johnson, I think, is telling you to buy a shield. I would say go out and buy the 2.0 subcompact. It's basically a fat shield. Atomic Bullets saying I got my Russian SKS in the late 80s. I still own it. I see it's appreciated in value well. Yes, sir. I'm sure it has. La la la. Anthony's repeating. Can't go wrong with both those guns. I agree. Let's see. Wait for SHOT to see if they come out with an optics ready version. That is a good point too. There is talk, rumblings that the M&P will have a compact, or excuse me, an optic ready pistol. And I can tell you right now, as soon as that comes out, I'm buying one because I really, really enjoy the M&P 2.0 series. I think it's one of the best they've had. I have the compact. I just picked up the subcompact, although I still haven't gotten my little permission slip to pick it up. And I'm excited for that one because I like the M&P line. It's very good, very reliable. Some people don't agree. Some people will think that it's not as good as, pistol A, pistol B, and C. But it's been solid, man. It's been a great performer for me. It shoots really nice and flat. They did enough to that gun to really make it a well-formed handgun. So again, I'd show it to you, but we're not allowed to do that. I don't even know. Can I show you a holster? I don't know. Oh my God, it's a holster. It's dangerous. Can I show you a hammer? Oh no, it's a hammer. So whatever. One interesting thing that I have to say about my Holosun, and this is the 508T, you'll notice I had to take the battery out because the thing died. I don't know why. So if anybody has any information about that, let me know because the battery doesn't work. So now I got to go buy a new battery. Ranger 10 is saying I want an M&P 2.0 compact or bad. I think you meant to say really bad. Then go get one. They're cheap. They are cheap. You can find them cheap. Although you can find the APXs cheaper. Gotcha. Yep, optic ready. Now I got you, buddy. Yes, I think it's going to be great. I hope the system works well. So far, for me, I have the APX RDO. I have the Masada. I have I got to think about this. I got the CZP-10S optic ready one coming in soon, hopefully, knock on wood. And then I also have the FN509 MRD optics model. And that thing, I'm telling you, of all of them, to me, the FN509 MRD is the best of all of them. So I'm going to make a video comparing them when I'll get them together and show you all the systems on how you mount them and everything. But I'm telling you, I really am impressed with that 509 MRD. It's really just a good gun. But of course, I did custom it a little bit, with some springs and a trigger and all that other crap. And once I did that, the gun is it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. Floridian is saying Soleimani aided Shiite militia forces against the U.S. in the Iraq War, resulting in, well, there you go. So, maybe he deserved to die. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Let's see. Music is saying that she would like a gold-plated Shadow 2. Only if you shoot it sideways. Got to shoot it, this way. But they're coming out with a case-hardened CZ SP01, which looked pretty sweet. I saw it on the website. It looks nice. Now, if they'd only have it on Decocker, that'd be great. Let's see. Ranger saying 507C stays on all the time. 3 months and still going strong. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what happened with it. It just stopped working. I went and tried to turn it on the other day, and it was dead, flat dead. The 507C works great, no problems, but this one went completely dead. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. I'm going to have to see what's going on with that. I'll put another battery in there. You guys, if you've been watching, I've had some problems with the Swamp Fox. That battery has gone kaput 3 different times. So I just sent it out, and I just got the confirmation that they're sending me one in the mail to replace it. So we're going to run it, see how it works. From what I've seen from other people, they haven't had any issues with the battery. I know in some of the early models they did, but so far it seemed to be one of the only ones. Good luck. Great luck. And somebody just rang my doorbell at 9:45 at night, which is really weird. Let's see. Music's cooking. What are you cooking, music? I hope it's something good. Boy, these dogs. I love my dogs, but damn it. Tonight they're so loud, I'd like to just throw them out of my house. So apparently 32 Icon has a Gold Shadow 2. So, yeah, I'm not, I've never really, I like the Shadow 2. It shoots great. I think everybody who shot one would say the same thing, but, I'm not a big Shadow 2 guy. I personally don't have a use for it, but doesn't mean it's not good. Yeah, it's already ready. Multiple. Yeah, they're coming to get my SKS. I know it's it's the local state police. Clint is asking if there are any Caracol updates. Clint, I already said it. You're a little late, but I will repeat. They are going to hopefully be on their way in a couple of weeks. Oh shit, I just said they. So I've got mine coming back, and then another one is joining it, but it's a different one. So I'm kind of excited, man. I am. I'm not gonna lie. I'm super excited because, like I said from the get go, I think the gun is a nice gun. It's a nice looking gun. I just want it to work, and I'm gonna hope and pray and keep my fingers crossed that it works because honestly, they were pretty stand up company dealing with them. So, and I hope it works. I don't want to wish bad on them because I really hope it works. So we'll see. I have not tried a Delta Point Pro. And I have not tried the green dot version. I have to buy one more because of all the guns that I have. They're optic ready. So I really need one more. And whatever I get, it's going to be probably a Holosun green because the Swamp Fox I had was green circle dot, and I love the green. The green shows up so much better. Although the reds are good, the green I think is just better. No, I don't know what it was. I can't remember. I can't even find the battery right now. I don't know what I did with it. So, whoops. Let's see. Ranger 10 is saying his 507C is a green ring one. I love it. Yeah, I'm probably going to go with that too. It is much, the brightness on it, I think, is magnified higher than the red. Although obviously some people will say, well, your eye responds better to the green, which might be true. I don't know. No idea. Although now I have this, I don't know if you guys can see that. I have this bump on my eye. I had a bad sty, had an eye infection, and I got a sty, and now I got this huge lump there. Like, what's that about? Anthony's saying, if I want to test one or both, let me know. Ooh. How much you selling that? Let me know. Talk to me via Subscribestar, man. And if it's a good price, maybe I'll buy it from you. And it's in good shape, too. That's all I care about. Which I'm sure it is. All right. So we talked about prison reform. We've talked about the raids in Iraq or Iraq. I don't know if you guys remember the Iron Sheik back in the day. He was he played an Iranian guy, and he goes, Iran, Tehran, Iran, number one. He used to love that. He used to fight Sergeant Slaughter all the time. Let's see. LZ, did you purchase your CZ P10S online? I think that you will like it better than P10 Compact. I did purchase it online. I did get my hands on it, and I've got to say, and I said it, I think I said it the last chat or last live stream. I said that to me, the P10S might be the Goldilocks P10 because it's not too big and it's not too small. I was a little concerned that it was going to be too small for my hands, but after holding it and caressing it and just loving the little guy, I found that it fit perfectly in my hand. Now, it's not going to fit for everybody, obviously. If you got meat hooks, it's not going to work. But it definitely fit a niche in regards to size. And I think that's the size the P10C should have been because the C isn't really a C. So it's going to be kind of interesting. I'm gotten a UTG extended base plate, but it's a +0, so there's no added rounds, just to give it a little bit more pinky room. So we're going to see how that works. I'm going to put that on and see how that works once I get it, if I ever get it at this point. Thoughts on Virginia? I did read that. I know there were some posts about that and the craziness that this guy, the governor, is trying to put out there, a paid militia of armed people going around and confiscating and enforcing gun laws. You know, I don't even know what to say about that. I don't. I don't even know what to say. You know, how about I got an idea, Virginia? Impeach your governor and throw him out of office for threatening the good people of the Commonwealth of Virginia. I mean, it's just, I don't get it. I don't even, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. See, Kim is saying he loves the P10S. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna love it, man. Not gonna lie. I hope so. I really do. I have a P10C again, and I've shot it a couple of times, and it's great. I mean, it really runs well. I don't really have any major concerns about it. It's one of the older ones made from the Czech Republic, but it had all the upgraded parts. The mag release is super easy to use on both sides. You can drop the slide from both sides. And the back plate is one of the newer models, so you don't necessarily have that the twisting of the striker. So, you know, so far it's been 100%. So it's a good handgun. And I bought it used for like 315 bucks or something like that. All right, let's see. Yep, Ripcord, we probably will have to talk about Virginia. That'll be something we'll have to bring up. So maybe that'll be the next chat. We'll talk about Virginia. You know, I think that'll be interesting. Let's see. Ranger Sand and Sea Kim, I can't even get one in the shop, but when I do, I'm jumping on it. Yeah, they're hard to find, but you know, again, I found it online and I went ahead and said, what the hell, let's do it. And it wasn't crazy priced either. It was fairly reasonable, fairly reasonable. But again, there are some knocks. I'm not gonna lie. There are some things I don't like about it. But it's really not about the gun. It's just about what it lacks. But again, we're going to talk about that at some point. Yeah. Ranger 10 saying, let's see how that 18-man paid militia works out. I know. I can't even. I mean, how many people would actually sign up for that? You know, who's going to sign up for it? People wearing tight jeans and, you know, and cardigans and stuff, you know, and the soy boys and all the, you know, millennials. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous. And again, what is the job of government? It's to protect the rights of the people. And this governor is off his rocker because he's basically violating their rights. So technically, probably should be impeached. Let's see. Steve-O just snagged a Gen 5 Glock 17 with Marigold and night sights plus 3 mags and back straps for $450. That's really good too. That's really good too. I'd like to see one day a Glock 45 go down to that price. That's the one I'm still kind of waiting on. I really would like to get a Glock 45. Yeah, well, you know what it is here, Lane, is the fact that each one of these crazy folks are trying to outdo the other, you know. So of course you got the governor of Virginia acting like a complete lunatic, California, which is just, you know, it's California, and New York, which is New York, you know. So it's kind of a race to the top of the stupid pile. LZ saying 5-star rating for his P10S, so that's cool. So you came in Virginia. If you're a patriot, you will now be a criminal. Very true. Virginia is where the revolution will start. Yep, it's a little further up than Fort Sumter, although that was the American Revolution, though. Right? Or is that, I can't remember. Is that the Civil War? Jesus, I think it was the Civil War. All right, so we're now at 9:54, so we have approximately 6 minutes left. So if we have any comments or questions, let's try to take them now. So we've had about 40 people join us tonight, so that's great. Thank you, everybody, for joining and being civil about our discussion, which is always fun. And then hopefully, for those of you who couldn't join us, you'll be watching this later on when it is uploaded to YouTube. So yeah, that's about it. So, you know, in the future, there are some things that are going to be coming down the pipe in regards to videos. So, let's see. Oh, it's funny. Ranger 10's asking what's new for the channel this year. So one of the new things that I'm going to be focusing a little bit more on this year are actually rifles. So I've been, you know, kind of increasing some of the things that I own in regards to, you know, being able to actually take them in public and shoot them and that kind of stuff without being, you know, harassed. So that's why the SKS was bought. You know, I just picked up a scout rifle, a Savage Scout, which I'm pretty excited to shoot that as well. Just bought some ammo for it today. So I think, you know, there's going to be a little more focus on the rifle shooting. Again, I'm not going to say I'm a marksman, but I can do pretty well up to 200 yards, you know, and I'm okay with that, you know. So I'm going to focus a little bit on the rifle shooting, maybe pull out a Marlin or two at some point and just do some videos on that. and I'm excited. You know, it's like it's been a while, and that really has to deal with me more than anything else. I had an issue last year where the nerves in my face were all screwed up, so it was causing tremendous pain. Couldn't really do much. I had to take medication for a while, so it sucked, but I seem to be okay. I shot a couple of pretty good rifles the other day. I had no problems, so that's why I'm kind of getting back into that. So it should be exciting. I'm also going to be obviously doing some more pistol work, so I'm going to do a comparison on all of the optic ready handguns that I own personally to show you what the difference is in both and which one I think is better in regards to, you know, the usability, the mounting systems, those kind of things. To kind of give you guys an idea before you decide to buy one, which one might work best for you. The only one I won't be able to show is a Glock MOS because I don't have a Glock MOS, but I pretty much have all the other ones, which is kind of cool. Um, let's see what else. I was also thinking of doing something called, you know, something like a documentary. But this one is a little bit more personal. So I'm not sure how I want to do it or if I want to do it at all because it has nothing to do with guns at all. You know, as many of you know, I do have the shaky hand syndrome, which is called essential tremor for all of you out there who do not know that. And I was thinking about doing kind of a, a, a mini documentary, kind of going through what it is, what it's like to have it, and what are the cons of having it, and how does it affect my daily life? Because I've gotten so many stupid comments about it, you know, and you know, it is what it is. So I might do that. I don't know. We'll see. Lane is saying you have a Savage BMAG and 17 WSM, very accurate and expensive rifle. No, I'd say it's a Scout. It's a 110 Scout, and it's in 223. It's not a 308. I didn't want to do 308 because I'm still a little concerned about the old face problem. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how that plays out. And I'm kind of excited. I mean, it shouldn't be recoiling much. I mean, damn, it's 223, and it's bolt action. And the best part is I'm a lefty rifle shooter with a right-handed bolt action. So I'm so happy about it. It's like you guys think it's stupid, but I love it. I'm not gonna lie, I love it. So I might break out the old stainless Marlin, shoot that a couple of times, and kind of give you my, because I do love lever actions, man. It's like one of my favorite rifle platforms. You know, some people dismiss them. Some people feel they're not worthy of modern attention, but I'm not gonna lie, guys. I love lever actions. So if anybody wants to just, you know, donate one and give me one for free, I don't care what it is, as long as it's not a Mossberg, because I think they're pieces of shit. But, you know, I'll take Henry's, Marlins, you name it. Let's see. Any thoughts on the new Pythons? It's more gun than I want. And, you know, I haven't really got into the damn revolver thing, man. Just haven't done it. Haven't done it. Come to Virginia on the 20th. I'd love to, man, but I'm going to be working like a stiff. Sucks. Ranger 10 saying, everyone stay strong this year, always carry and be a patriot, stand for the Second Amendment. Let's push back these liberals to hell. That's saying it nicely, sir. Ranger 10 is saying, I shoot left-handed with a right-handed bolt. Always. Nice. Can't wait. Yeah, I feel like it's easier. I don't know why. You know, every rifle I've owned has been a right-handed rifle. All the action is on the right, you know, and I feel like it's an advantage because, you know, if you have your, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Holy shit, I can't remember. I can't remember. Whatever. Who cares? Whatever the hell I was trying to say. Charging handle. That's it. When you have your charging handle on the right, I mean, it's fairly easy to operate. So I like it. Ranger 10 saying bolts are his jam. Yeah, you know, it's funny that I've never actually owned a bolt action rifle. Never owned one. This is my first one. I've shot a few of them and I actually enjoyed them quite a bit, but this is my first one, man. So I'm totally stoked. Yes, music. If you want to donate a Winchester, I will take one of those as well. So yeah, so that's it, guys. So it's now we have 1 minute left. I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I wasn't able to do the chat on Wednesday with the other two clowns. Should be able to be available this Wednesday, but you know, it depends on what the work schedule is like. And that's about it. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. You know, I hope you guys are going to have a really good new year. I hope I have a good New Year's. I hope the channel has a really good new year. I'm really hoping to see a lot of growth this year. I don't know how, but maybe, you know, a little prayer here and there might help. But I definitely would like to see the channel grow even more. I mean, it's been growing pretty well. And I owe that all to you guys for supporting and for watching and putting up with my BS and just, giving me your input, man. And I appreciate all of you out there. We'll see you, I don't know when. It's either going to be Friday or Saturday. I don't really know about Sundays anymore. Hell, I don't even know about Saturdays. And for that matter, Friday either. But, we'll figure it out and we'll get it right. But other than that, stay tuned. I think I'm going to be dropping, I think I'm going to do an FN 509 MRD video this week. Maybe. So maybe next Saturday I'll drop that video. We'll see. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys are doing great, man. That's it. I hope everybody's doing well. And I hope you have a great new year. So we'll see you next time. And as always, everyone, be safe. Enjoy the time with your loved ones. And freedom is never free.